Yo, my wonderful people. It's a few words to the mix. Back with another flick. I know I haven't been posting in a while, been trying to get my life back in order. You know how it is. It's a working process, you know, and it's also a walking process as I'm currently undergoing a brisk walk in this dark, tenebrous, gloomy night. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, my legs are still aching because a couple of days ago I was doing some HIIT exercises. What I mean by HIIT exercises, HIIT. I'm not exactly like hitting someone, you know, as part of my exercise. That's not what I'm doing. But yeah, I was doing some HIIT exercises, working on my body from the ground to the waist up. So obviously, trying not to give my legs an overkill. But yeah, I know I haven't posted something tangible in the world that is somewhat related to my arts and creativity. So what I'm gonna do is to keep the audience on lock. Every time I decide to step outside to do some brisk walking, I'm gonna post a very brief segment of my daily routine. Because honestly, guys, we're trying to be realistic as possible when it comes to time. I mean, spontaneously posting, especially in regards to posting on Insta, it's just a method that works for me, you know. I can't reschedule for everything. I've just put what I wanted to do into one box. It kind of made me wonder if our human brains are designed like that, because we're actually single task beings, or in other words, monotasking beings. You know, I know like some of you might disagree on that, but you know, I've been doing my research, but we are monotasking beings. And the only thing that what makes it seemingly multitasking what makes it seemingly multitasking is that we act on impulse in certain situations. Like in the kitchen, if you accidentally knocked over a plate with a likely chance that it could be broken whilst talking to a group of people, which is essentially multitasking. Use reflexes like a ninja, acting on impulse in hopes in saving the plate from breaking. Now, one may still hear voices and be able to catch on what people say whilst you're trying to save the plate within half a second or however what time it took it, you know what I'm saying? But I feel that one's focus on when people are talking ain't going to be the same as if one is just standing there chilling and having an open conversation. But yet, in hindsight, I feel that even if you're neurotypical, as one they say they are, or neurodiverse, in which I believe we all are, because obviously no one's the same. I feel that should be common sense to me, that we are not all the same. But I don't know. But anyways, I feel like you lot, whether you're neurodiverse, neurotypical, you know, what do you call it? An unidentified walking object, you can be somewhat relatable. Because that's how we are designed. In the human world, I believe that there's no such thing as multitasking. Not there's no such thing as multitasking, you know. It's just that if we're ever going to like have a situation where, you know, we just practice at multitasking at certain points, it's gonna take a lot of like strain and like difficulty. And you need like a lot of practice at it. And yo, it's just the brain can like do so much, you know, when it comes to multitasking. You know. But yeah. And I'm not really talking about walking and talking. That's not really multitasking. Obviously, we're all designed to be walking and talking with your pals and your mates. But yeah, that's my thing anyway. And also like, yeah, and also like running and typing on the phone, same way. Like, you know, that's not really multitasking, it's easy. You know what I'm saying? But people might say like, you know, what about driving and being on the phone? You know, what about driving and being on the phone? You know, that's a good question, you know. I know a common thing that if the law doesn't catch you, you ain't breaking it, basically. You know, that's a good one, not gonna lie. But I would say if one had got that skill in the bag already and they're experts at it, then that's no longer multitasking. It was multitasking before, but now it's not, because the person that's got it, they mastered it, because the one that's got it easy. Or maybe if the driver is going along a straight road, so all she has to do is just, control the accelerator to like an easy pace being on the phone, which I could imagine, like, if you good with like the acceleration and the brakes already, it should be, relatively easy. You know what I'm saying? Like, even with me, even though I've never really been on the phone and I never really like passed on the practical test, using the accelerator on the foot is just easy. Controlling it with the brakes and all that, making sure that the car doesn't it doesn't speed up that much, you know what I'm saying? So that's not multitasking, because that's not putting enough strain on your brain to be focusing on two different tasks, I don't think. However, bigger actions such as turning the steering wheel with one hand while using the phone with the other, that's multitasking. It's just anything that puts a strain in your brain to a point where it's clashing and it's hard to compute and perform that action at the same time. So yeah, multitasking is a bit of a weird one to talk about, but that's my thing. I feel that everyone has those mental strains. We all get mental strains when we are stressed and have headaches, so why wouldn't we? But not as powerful, in my opinion, as the mental strain in multitasking, in which is short-lived as long as you, stop multitasking. That's it. At least we try to cope with stress. But I don't think we can cope with multitasking to such an extent. Otherwise, we would be trying to grab mail from one's doorstep whilst looking behind what's going on the TV. Could you do that? Maybe. We wouldn't be trying to do push-ups whilst trying to wash hands. Whilst trying to catch fruits when the person is throwing it towards your mouth. So let me say again. We wouldn't be trying to do push-ups whilst trying to wash hands, whilst trying to catch fruits when the person is throwing it towards your mouth. Could you do that? Maybe. But I guess one way to do it, if we're gonna like do at least two tasks, because like 3 tasks, what I said previously is gonna be a bit much, but like I guess one way to do it is to overcome that mental strain. And if you do it, it'll probably be more than a day's work. I know I've seen a lot of amazing instant influencers I follow that can do amazing shit, but I feel that they had to overcome that mental strain. So it's a long process, but but I would say, I don't know, maybe for like the average Joe, not even just like the average Joe, it's just like, yeah, if one's not good in like, I don't know, like Kung Fu, because I'm guessing like with Kung Fu, I've seen some instances of like multitasking where it's like, one might be doing like a plank, sort of like a plank position, not really like a plank position, but they have like their legs wide and they use their elbows as like a stronghold or something, just to like make sure that their body doesn't like move in position whilst reading the book. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I've seen that happen a couple of times, but that's Kung Fu or something yoga related. You haven't got like, the basic skills in the bag, not even just the basic skills, if you ain't a pro at it, I just feel like, bro, just like don't bother, because Just putting a mental strain and like just doing like so much work. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? To each his own. But I reckon for argument's sake, I reckon for like, I don't know, let's just say the average Joe, like, you know, probably for the average Joe, like multitasking is meant to be stressful to the brain, whereas harder or requires more work to compute. So if one's not getting, if one's not getting that whilst they're doing like simultaneous work, then that's not really multitasking, because now it's now easy. So initially, we all designed to be monotaskers, and essentially it's actually easier that way, of course. So that's why I said there's no well, not there's no such thing, but I feel like we're all born monotaskers. We're all born to be monotaskers, and multitasking is such a big skill, a really big skill in like in any field, even in jobs. But again, like, I know, just packing shelves and like talking with your mates, you know, is that really like multitasking, or just like you're just acting on impulse? You know, because I've seen some instances, I've seen like a lot of instances where it's like people like do like, you know, work, you know, and they just talk to their employees whilst they're packing, stocking shelves and whatnot, but their efforts, they slow down. It's just putting a lot of like mental strain in the employees, I believe, because they all want to work faster, they all want to work on time and meet certain requirements and whatnot. So yeah. So even if you got like some of those simultaneous tasking in the bag, you know, 9 times out of 10, most likely is not multitasking. And you know, and like 9 times out of 10, you're meant to complain, ask for help of another person to complete one task whilst you do the one that you first intend to do. You know what I'm saying? Because if you don't, you want to multitask, but then if you start the multitask, you're going to create like a mental strain, like a temporal mental strain, which, you know, I find that is a bit unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? There's ways to like work harder without doing like simultaneous work, I believe. You know what I'm saying? Trying to avoid these like mental strains, you know what I'm saying, on the brain. Because, you know, dementia is a real thing. Look at Joe Biden, for instance. Sleepy Joe. But yeah, a lot of weird shit about the human brain, you know. And I'm no exception, but instead of accepting that peeps want to label themselves neurotypical, even if you haven't done so intentionally, you know, you basically automatically labeled yourself neurotypical, even if you haven't said or meant to like say that, you know, I don't think myself as neurotypical, you know what I'm saying? But it's just like, what are you then? It's either you're neurotypical or you're neurodiverse. You know, I guess that's how, you know, society works and all that. But or you're unidentified walking object. Sorry, I forgot to add that. But yeah. But yeah, I don't know, just it's a bit of a weird one. Like, you didn't go for like any checkouts. Like, why don't some of y'all go to get therapy, huh? Like, even if it's just once. Even the ones that didn't never gone to therapy in their life, like why? Like why? But I'm joking. No, I'm joking. I'm not diving into that your personal business and like whatnot. You know what I'm saying? What? as far as the mental is concerned. But it kind of beats me as to why people never went to therapy. If you know, if happened to meet a guy and they said to me like, oh, they never went to therapy. We're kind of like, yeah, it's kind of like weird. Not even once in a lifetime, really. But y'all give yourself a title. It's either you're neurotypical, you're neurodiverse, or you're unidentified walking object, such as myself. Because you know what? Every time I speak, it's from the Anunnaki ancestors. I speak from Oduduwa, the divine king, and the divine being Oluwan into the existence. My Yoruba ancestry, blood, runs deep, runs deep, runs deep. Disagreeable with my peeps at times, yes, but it runs deep, deep. But yeah, well, it's carnival. Not gonna lie, I didn't stay for long. Something intervened, and I just thought, nah, I only went to see a certain place and then come back. Which was that the Red Bull event. I thought it was lit, but yeah, I didn't really stay for long. It was just, I heard the callers say like, nah, don't stay for long. Carnival is not really worth it for me at this day and age, maybe at this time of year. It wasn't really like it wasn't really like a clear intervention, defined intervention, but yeah. But just something tells me that it's not really going to be popping for me this year, But yeah, that's it, guys. It's going to be under 20 minutes, but it's going to be heading back to the house. Just love the walk. And yeah, see y'all soon. Thru Waters out. Peace. Love and light. Love you to the moon and back.